Alright, welcome back to Flight Sim 2020 and welcome to a beautiful early morning where it is overcast and raining. We are on the ramp here at Mariental Airport in Namibia and we are back. It's been quite a while since I flew the Asurpoly C160 on the channel, but it's an aircraft that I wanted to jump back in and do a bit more flying in, and also I need to make some money on FSEconomy to pay for all of these aircraft. So I've got a bunch of routes set up so we can make a bunch of cash using our C160. So we're parked on the ramp at Mariental. We've got a bunch of cargo, a few passengers on board, and I think it's 4 routes that we need to do to various airports in Namibia. So we've got probably a good half a day's worth of flying to go and make some cash in the C160. So the cargo's all loaded up. We've got about 50% fuel, and our first route takes us from here down to Lüderitz, which is just under an hour's worth of flying. The weather looks kind of like this mostly around Namibia, so hopefully we can actually get in. But anyway, that's the plan for today, so let's jump aboard and start getting things set up. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to set everything up here. So first things first, we're going to get the batteries on. Let's just get rid of that sound. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is just kind of go straight ahead and get the engines running. So let's get some lights on. Okay, so I have control over those. Now, one thing that does happen, let's actually come over here so I can show you. FSEconomy puts all of the fuel in tank C. So we need to open these up so we can actually get fuel from tank C into the tanks that feed our engines. So that's something that we're going to manage throughout the flight. Okay, do I need to put anything else on in order to start? So we're just gonna do fuel pumps A and B. I'm not actually gonna start up the APU. As far as I remember in this aircraft, we don't need it just to start the engines normally. Okay, this is the cutoff position, so if I do that, they're not in cutoff. So I can set that to start. This should be set to start as well. Right, and then I think kind of just fire it up. Oh, all of this stuff is still on. Wheel covers and things are off. Okay, because the engine's spinning now, so it probably got removed automatically. Yeah, that seems to have worked. waypoints and we are up and running. Okay, that's probably enough fuel for our trip, so I'm actually going to switch this off. Okay, that's all on. Right, now we need to do this. So now I gotta remember how this works. What is OEW? Empty weight? Okay, let's see. Fuel weight 12 tons. Oh, can I just put this in? 43.8. We'll do 43.9. Is that even gonna work? No. So do I have to type in 43891? That's not gonna work either. Okay, so maybe I can't put in the gross weight. So load 1762. Gross weight of 29 tons is way off because I don't have the empty weight. So then logically that would mean our empty weight is what was this? 43.8 minus 12 minus 1.7. Also, I screwed this up. It's not 17 tons. It's 1.7 tons. Which gives us 30.1. How did I just click 7? There we go. Gross weight 43.8. 43.8. Very nice. Okay, then we need to do the flight plan. Alright, how do I do this now? Oh, right, we start here. And we are going from FYWH, so that's this one. Oh, whoops, wrong way around. F, and then Y is 1, W, and H is 2. This is a very weird system. To FYLZ, so 3, 1, 3, 2. Okay, then insert before. We've got one waypoint, I think, which is Evomo. 1, 313 EVOMO. Cool, that's it. So okay, cool. Okay, we are cruising at 12,000 feet, so we can come here. That's done. Alright, I think that's it. Yeah, we set this to standby. So we'll turn that on once we get on the runway. This has aligned. Cool, that's up. We can flip this over to map and we should see the course. That's good. Right, up here, this should be set to FMS and that should be down. That's fine, that's fine. These are all good. Fuel is done. And then lights are over here. Let's do taxi. Okay, we'll set our flaps for takeoff. Let's go ahead and actually we can get rid of that for now. Alright, now in terms of the wind, got a couple of runway options. So I don't really want to do the short dirt runway, so we're gonna take runway 19, which is gonna give us a bit of a tailwind but mostly a crosswind, so that's fine. Okay, let's ditch the parking brake. Stopped raining though, it seems, but it is still pretty cloudy and overcast. I don't think we really need the methanol injection for our takeoff today. We do an intersection departure. Nah, can play it safe. Let's just test as well. Alright, the reverse does work. Okay, that's good. do landing lights 1 and 2. And we'll bring the props full forward as well. Okay, there we are, lined up. So lights are set. Let's just come down here and do this guy to on. Right, then I think we are good. Oh, that's the last thing, is that these need to go back to normal. Right, here we go. Airspeed's alive. Gears coming up. Flaps coming up as well. Yeah, into the heavy rain. Right, autopilot is on. Keep an eye on our vertical speed. That's all right. Let's turn towards this first waypoint. Okay, I'm gonna set this to standard so long. So we're going all the way up to 12,000 feet, so flight level 120 anyway. Okay, taxi lights can come off. I'm gonna set this on, so we should pick up that course once we're close enough. And it looks like, no, it'll just hold this heading until we pick that up. Okay, we're climbing like a rocket. we'll be at 12,000 feet pretty soon. Flaps are up, gears up. Back the power off a bit. Nose diving into the ground. Yeah, I don't know why clicking this up made us go down like that. This is a very rudimentary autopilot system. Okay, that's better. That's cool, we can stay there. We've got quite a lot of airspeed now because of our nose dive. Probably bring the RPMs back a little bit as well. Appear to be doing anything. Well, maybe it's like fully automatic or something, because I was expecting this to move. Oh, that's fine. We'll just leave them fully forward then. Absolutely pouring here still. Okay, let me quickly check the weather for Literates, which seems to be a little clearer than it is here. So there's rain in the area, overcast at 1500, so there might not be rain directly over the airport, but it is raining in the area, so by the time we get there, anything is possible, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, we're still on this. And we're still climbing reasonably, so that's okay. We can probably bump this up a little bit. There we go. QNH for Literates is 1015, and the reports are rain, overcast at 1500, overcast at 2000. But that is changing to broken at 2500 just now, so we might actually be fine once we get there. Okay, Literates has an RNAV approach, and that's it. So winds 346 at 4. So runway 4 would be our best option, which has an RNAV arrival. through 10,000 feet. But it's still pouring here. Let's see if we can do this. Now, as I remember, this doesn't work if you have no star. Yeah. Which we don't have. Okay, so no RNF for us. Alright, it's gonna have to be fully visual then, which is good because we've just broken out of the rain. Awesome stuff. Okay, 11,000 feet. It's like another wall of rain over there. Altitude hold. And we're turning onto our GPS course now. So all looking good. I'm going to go through another patch of heavy rain, or maybe just skirt along the edge of it. We'll see. Okay, there we are onto our course. Looks like we're going to be going back to the rain after all. So just over 150 miles to go. It's probably looking at about just over half an hour. There we go, 34 minutes. It's clearing up a little. There's still some rain down there, but at least not where we are right now. Oh, we're just over it. Of lightning as well. Okay, so about 40 miles out now, and I have to say it's not looking great. If we get an open patch like this, we'll be alright, but otherwise we might be in a bit of trouble, yeah? Okay, but we can go down to 4,600. Just keep an eye on our speed. We don't need to go down that quickly. That's better. So we want to join the right-hand circuit for runway 4. So what we'd probably want to do is just go onto a right base and into 4. Through 10,000, let's get the landing lights on so long. Okay, it feels good. Weather's not looking great. Hopefully we've got a nice open patch like this over the airport, but I mean if it's like this, we are going to struggle. Minutes out. So actually we'd be joining a downwind for runway 4 because we're kind of coming from the top. wind is only at 3 knots, so if we see runway 22 easily, we can take that as well. Not too worried about which runway, it's just worried about this. Little hills here have a highest peak of 2,188, so we should be good. Altitude hold at 46. It looks a little open up ahead, which is good. The airport elevation is 457. So actually we'd want to go down to about 2,000. We can only do that if we can see, which it looks like we can. Actually be able to make it in here. There's the airport there. There's the runway. Probably a little close for a circuit, that's why I wanted to turn earlier. Oh, we should be okay. get some flaps in as well before I start turn. Let's disengage the autopilot. That's all mine now. Start our turn over here. We want to come in over the little town there, actually. Coming down. Lights, gear, flaps. Okay, spoilers coming back up. Oh, sorry, down. Flaps coming up. Welcome to Lillooet. I don't even know where the apron is here, actually. Is there even an apron? Yes, there is. Okay, we keep going. It is those buildings on the right there. Cool. It's actually relatively clear over here. It's literally just over there where it's pouring with rain. So once again we get kind of lucky. that side it's pouring as well. According to the chart, the apron is here. Oh. It's supposed to be a bit... Oh, okay. It's on this side, but it's just kind of in the gravel. I guess there's like this little taxiway over here. Never mind, I'm just confused. Okay, taxi lights off, landing lights off. Oh, it is here. I think it was on the other side. Yeah, I'm just gonna take up the whole apron. We're not gonna be here for long. Okay, fuel. That's pretty good, actually. Right. Okay, let's go ahead then quickly and load up the next set of cargo, and then we will be on our way to our next destination. Okay, so there we are. It's about half an hour-ish later. We are all loaded up. We're still on the APU. The clouds have cleared a little bit. The sun is out a bit more, so everything's a bit brighter, and that rain seems to have moved off or stopped entirely. But our next flight takes us from here to Uppington, so I'm quickly gonna just create a flight plan for that. So we're starting off here at Lüderitz over to Uppington. So we're looking at a flight time on this one of about an hour and a half, so a little bit longer, cruising at 13,000 feet. Total distance of 356 miles. Right, let's jump aboard. We need a block fuel of 5,000 kgs, 5,200 kgs. So let's convert that 5,200 kgs to liters, which is 6,447 liters. So well, we've got that much in either tank, so we want to aim for about, let's say, 3,300 liters on either side. So I'm going to get that running so long, and we'll keep checking in on that as we go. Otherwise, everything else is already sorted. All we have to do is go ahead and fire up the engines again. So we can bring these back to start, and then that's there, so we'll just go and fire it up. Okay, and we are going to Uppington. So the other thing I can do while that's happening is to enter the flight plan. Right, because this is always interesting. So FYLZ to FAUP. That's not a P, that's an R. Like so. At least this one also only has one waypoint in between, because typing in the waypoints can become quite a mission. Okay, so we just go to this one, insert before Uppington, that's correct, and it is Kebat. So 2, 2, 2, 2. Oh no, I left out one. A 1, 2, Kebat. There we go. Enter that. That's checked. Good. Okay, this can come back down. That can close, and that gets launched. Okay, actually, I'm not going to go all the way to 5,000 liters. So, let me stop this quickly, because that's our block, including our alternate, which is quite far. So, because of all the weather. So, if we need that extra fuel, we have it in the tanks. But the way FSEconomy works is it only sees these tanks. So anything I pump in here is essentially gone. So you're wasting a little bit of fuel on each trip. So I want to put as little in here as possible. So what we actually need for the flight is 2,000 kgs. So 2,000 kgs gives us... How did that work? Okay, cool. 2,000 kgs gives us 2,500 liters. So, what have we got now? We're pretty close, actually, because we're 778 and 785. So, 2,500 gives us, what, 1,250 on either side, so we can pump in a bit more. So that can keep running. This can come down like so. That gets closed, and that should shut it down. Good. We'll flip this over. Those are all good. Flaps for takeoff. Everything's aligned. Route is set. Cruising altitude 13. Seems very low, but hey. Almost at that fuel, so roughly 1,250 per side. In total gives us 2,500 liters. We're kind of just tankering our own fuel. Okay, there's that 250 coming up now. Cool, let's go and switch these off. Right, let's get out of here. Okay, lights. we've got a bit of cargo and a few passengers going to Uppington, and then we're picking up a huge load of cargo and passengers in Uppington and going to 2 more places. So we're actually heading into South Africa now, but we end up coming back into Namibia after Uppington. Yeah, it looks like the weather might be getting closer coming from the ocean now. That weather inland is moved off. Right, props full forward. Okay, here we go. This feed's alive. Coming up, flaps on. Flaps up. Okay, hopefully when I engage the autopilot, the nose stays up. Good stuff. Go heading select. It'll take us around to the right so we can stay out of that weather. Okay, taxi lights off. Set standard, we're going up to flight level 130. Let's keep coming around on this turn. And we can arm our GPS nav. Okay, and we are well on our way. Bring the power back a little bit. Like we're already on top of the weather. We're really lucky we didn't have a bank of clouds like that just over the airport. Right, intercepting the GPS route now. Just under an hour to the first waypoint. Why is FOMO still in there? That's worrying. Delete this. Oh, there we go. That's better. Cool, much better. Weather doesn't look great either. So it says it's overcast with some thunderstorms and rain in the area. Otherwise, few clouds at 5,000 feet. Okay, 10,000 feet. Landing lights coming off. Gigabyte is basically halfway, so we're looking at about, yeah, an hour and a half of cruising along. We're coming up to our cruise altitude now. According to the SimBrief profile, we're supposed to cruise at 13.5 on the RPM, which means backing this off a lot. So that's about there. Which is nice because it does bring our fuel flow down a lot. What's happening in terms of speed? Staying around 190, that's okay. As long as it doesn't start tumbling down. Okay, so 33 minutes to Kevat, and then probably looking at another just over 30 minutes to Uppington from there. So I'll see you when we descend into Uppington. Okay, we're just over 50 miles out, and you can see the weather is quite rough here. We've got these pretty nasty looking clouds scattered about. We're going to start by going down to 5,000 feet, I think. So we can probably give it a little bit more time before we start descending. So what are we, 12 minutes out? Okay, wind at Uppington 320 at 11. Now Uppington has a super long runway, so we're going to do runway 35. Which is 16,076 feet, nearly 5 kilometers. Yeah, no ILS in Uppington, also just an RNAV, so we can't do that. But we're going to plan for runway 35. Of the airport itself is actually 2,791 feet, so let's say 2.8. So we want to go out, yeah, 4.8, so initially 5,000 is probably fine. Okay, let's go ahead and do that now. I just decided to drop like a brick to start off with. Uppington's QNH 2s, sorry, not 2, 1021. Like so. Let's check our fuel. Cool, we are pretty good. probably descend a little quicker. Coming through 10,000. Let's do the landing lights. Everything else is good. Okay, so we'll join a left-hand downwind for 3.5. Okay, 25 miles out. Weather seems okay. There's still those clouds scattered about, but looks like it shouldn't really affect us with our arrival into Uppington. So about 5 minutes out now. Don't see the airport. Minutes out. Once we have it inside, we turn right to 170. That puts us parallel to 35. 2 minutes out. Okay, so this is the runway here. There we are, 170. Altitude hold mode. Let's bring the power back so we can start slowing down. So we want to turn out here and come over this dark patch across the river. Okay, autopilot coming off. I have control. Oh, nice big stutters. Gears coming down, more flaps. come around this dark patch, and then we should be pretty good. Okay, gear flaps lights. Should be lined up before the river, which we are, so that's good. Going to do reverse because we need to taxi quite a long way. Spoilers, flaps. Props. Landing lights. APU. We go left on here. No, that's not right. Should be another taxiway here somewhere. Okay, I think we do take this and then we go off there. that vehicle's going. Okay. Very nice. So there's our next leg done. So I'm going to go ahead and load up all the stuff we need for the next leg, and then we got one more after that, and then we are done. So I'll see you in just a bit. Alright, so our next leg, we are very, very heavy, and I'm actually going to load all of that up now, so you should see the plane bounce a little. There we go. Okay, so that's our FSEconomy flight started, and we are going to Walvis Bay, so basically right next to where we started this morning, or just north of where we started this morning at Luderitz. So sim brief is done, that's done. Cool. Flight time of about 2.5 hours, again at 12,000 feet, and we need 3 tons of fuel. So let's see if we can sort that out. Into my EFB. That's worrying. Oh, windows open. There we go. Okay, so when I say 3 tons, that means we want 3,000 kgs. So 3,000 kilograms is 1,700 liters. So that would be 850 liters per side. So let's get that going so long. Why does that seem so much less than the previous flight? The previous flight we had 1,250 per side. Let me just double check. Yeah, so it's 3,000 kgs, which gives us... Oh, there, it didn't calculate. I had to refresh this. 3,000 is 3,736. So let's say 3,800 liters, which will give us 1,900 per side. That makes more sense. Cool. Okay, then let's get our flight plan going. So we are 3, 1, Where's you? 3, 1, 2. Volfus Bay, which is 3, 1, 2, 2. Enter that. Cool. And then our waypoint is KTV and IMRUG. So we'll insert before Volfus Bay. So before, cool. KTV, so 2, 2, 1. Enter that. We'll take Kebat out in a moment. In fact, let's just do that now. Oh, change Kebat too, that'll work. IMRUG, so it's 3, 1. Where's R? 3, 3, 1. IMRUG. Enter that. KTV IMRUG Volfus Bay. Nice. Once again, 12,000 feet. Okay, how's this doing? We're at 1,000. We need to be 1,900. Okay, while that's happening, let's then get these in start and get the engines up and running. So put that like so. Okay, 1.7 almost done. Okay, flaps for takeoff. Let's switch these off. Taxi lights on. APU off. Bells to normal. I've actually switched that off, but it can stay. The rest is all good. Okay, let's ditch the parking brake. Yes, we want to go out there. And I reckon we just use this runway for takeoff. Should be long enough. Wind will be okay. Save us a lot of time on the taxi. Okay, landing lights. plenty of runway. This runway isn't actually used, hence the big yellow X's. Oh well. Props. Okay, lights, flaps, props, transponder. Here we go. Speed's alive. 60. Coming up. Flaps 1. Flaps up. Okay, autopilot coming on. Seems pretty stable. We can arm this guy, and we're on our way to Walvis Bay. Right, we're going up to flight level 120, so let's dial this to standard. Last leg is gonna be like maybe a 5-minute flight. It's super close. Okay, let's bring the power back a bit. To pitch that hard. There we go. cleared up quite a bit now that it's afternoon. Should be able to climb a little quicker than this. That's better. So as you can see, 51 minutes to the Kidmanshoop VOR. Maybe a little bit, just a little bit less than that onto Imrog, and then slightly less again up the coast to Walvis Bay. So looking at just over 2 hours. Wonder if I can bump this climb up ever so slightly more. That's nice. Weather at Walvis Bay also cloudy. It's right on the coast and saying overcast at 800 feet. So that could be interesting if it's still like that when we get there. There's 9,000 feet. Let's see if I can bump this up gently again. seems like the weather's definitely worse out towards the coast. Well, actually, just in Namibia, really. Okay, it's 10,000 feet. Right, 700 feet to go. So Walvis Bay has a VOR instrument arrival, which we could do. It's also got RNAV, but obviously we can't do that. What are the minimums? Because it's showing overcast at 800. Minimums on this is 580, so that might actually work. Okay, there we are at cruise. Let's back off to 1350. Okay, and I've been keeping an eye on this. So let's maybe do... appear to have done anything. It's weird. So I thought the prop sync would actually fix this difference, but it doesn't seem like it is. Oh well, not the end of the world. Okay, so we're going to cruise on for about 2 hours now, and then we will make our descent into Walvis Bay. Okay, just over 50 miles out. Weather's looking okay. It's no longer saying 800 overcast. It is now saying few clouds 2,000 feet. QNH 1013. And that's about it. It's 26 degrees. Wind is 250 at 6. Right, so... let me have a look. Okay, we're coming in perpendicular to the runways. So with winds at 250, runway 27 will be perfect. So we're going to enter left-hand downwind for runway 27, which gives us a reciprocal heading of 090. Cool, nice and easy. And we'll descend to... airport is 230 300 feet. So we'll descend to 2,300. Nice and easy. And then I think I said previously that our next leg is like 10 minutes. It's probably going to be a little bit longer than that. I was just looking at the distance. It looked a bit closer on the map when I first saw it, but it is going to take us ever so slightly longer. It's still raining over there, but it actually looks fairly clear up ahead. Okay, 17 minutes out. Start our descent when we're about 10 minutes out. I'm probably just going to do the visual approach. Like I said, there is a VOR approach available, but I don't think we need it if the weather's going to stay like this. It's raining underneath us as well, and all along our right hand side, scattered showers. And then this one random very dark cloud. Okay, 15 minutes out. And fuel's looking perfect. some scattered showers in front of us that we might actually have to pass through. Just small areas though. Okay, I think we can start our descent and aim for about 1,000 feet a minute. Keep an eye on that. We don't have to hit exactly 1,000 because we do still have to do the pattern as well, so we should be alright with a little bit less than 1,000. Same again, once we have the airport in sight and we're kind of within that pattern distance, we will go heading select and turn right to 090. Coming through 10,000 feet. Nice and flat out here. The highest peak in front of us is actually right next to the right next to runway 27 at 486 feet. Okay, 6 minutes out. that range out. It's just like one solid pillar. It's crazy. I'm trying to spot this little hill. I think I can just see it there. Looks like that shower might be right on the approach path. The airport in sight. Lights are on, under 250 liters per side, but that's enough. And that rain cloud is going to be right there on approach, it seems. There's our downwind. Maybe it might have to actually try and turn before this shower. Let's see if we can maybe just cut inside the rain. Okay, I have control. Flaps on. Flaps 2. Looks pretty nasty in there. And actually out there over the ocean as well. We've got to go out that way next for our final leg. Okay, gear coming down quite high. More flaps. And then taxiway Bravo, we vacate. What is that? Oh, it's a building. To the right. Onto the big apron. Okay, gear flaps lights. This one's us. Right, spoilers down, flaps up. Got pretty dark all of a sudden there. Just wonder if that rain is closing in. Lights off. APU on. And this guy to standby. Welcome to Windhoek. No, welcome to Walvis Bay. Another flight logged. turn the taxi lights off. And that. Right, there we are. Let's load up our final leg for the day, and then we will be off for a short flight to the northeast. So I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, so it is now late afternoon. We've got one more flight left from here to FYKA, which is Caribou, which doesn't appear in SimBrief. So I'm gonna have to put this in manually. But before we start messing with that, let's actually just get everything up and running. We're still good on fuel, so we didn't need to refuel. We just had to load up the rest of our cargo and passengers. So let's get engine 1 starting up while we enter this. So it will be 3, 1, 2, 2, and we're going to 3, 1, 2, 1. Okay, it has picked it up. There's no waypoints in between. It's going to be a pretty short flight. So let's just go here and make sure we don't have anything strange in between there. I mean, I guess if we wanted, we could put in... Yeah, let's do that. We could put in S-Tax. So let's do this one before, and it is 2, 1... where's T? 2, 1, and 3. And then we can get rid of these two. So we get rid of this one. And this one. Oh, I should probably do this. That's why my engines don't want to start. Done. Okay, engine 2. That can come off. Just pumping a little bit of fuel into the tanks. Flaps for takeoff. Guess we can set this along already. Okay, so right, and then we go all the way down the taxiway, which is Echo. And we'll do an Echo departure, so from Echo intersection, runway 27. Nice and easy. Right, that's all done. That's probably enough fuel. Just keep an eye on that. We've still got quite a bit in the reserve. Okay, let's ditch the parking brake and get out of here. to our final airport of today, where we will be spending the night. We'll just pretend these vehicles aren't here. We just need to make sure we get there before it gets dark. Okay, let's do this along. In fact, I guess we don't even need these anymore already. Can leave that off. So the landing lights are already on. It is going to get dark pretty quickly. Although we should have a good, at least, maybe even an hour of light left. According to our instruments, if we had to taxi all the way there at this speed, we'd be there in 53 minutes. So hopefully we should be good in terms of the light. Okay, lights, flaps, transponder. Last thing on the list is props. Okay, here we go. Flaps on. Flaps up. Autopilot on. Steady. Yeah, I think 9,000 feet is actually going to be too high. Let's do 5,000. I do this, will it actually take us around? Cool. maybe I was right. So it says 9 minutes out. There's no charts or anything because Navigraph and therefore SimBrief don't know this place exists. The highest terrain around 4747. To the south, we're all the way up to 55. The terrain around there is already at 47. Let's do 6,000 here. We should be at an odd number, but let's do 7. Onto the route. This weather is a little concerning. Really want to bomb out on the last leg and have to go back to Walvis Bay. At least we can go back there. Even if it gets dark, we can make our way into Walvis Bay, so that's not an issue. I mean, it will be an issue if it's got super low ceilings, but I think we're okay in terms of that for now. These openings are game changing. Let's hope we have something like that just over the city and the runway, which is just kind of northwest of the city. No, sorry, northeast of the city. It's other side from where we are. Okay, just oh, it's 4 minutes to S-Tax. Right, I forgot about that waypoint. So we actually do have a little bit of a cruise to go. So we probably could have gone up to 9,000 actually. So we're going to be sitting in the clouds here. Alright, we're about to cross S-Tax. It looks like it's all raining in there. Okay, so bad news is, according to Active Sky, it is raining over the town where we're going, so that is not looking good. Broken clouds at 3,000 feet, few clouds at 5.7. Light rain, QNH 1020. Coming up to S-Tax shortly, and we'll see flight timer. It's just over 50 miles, maybe 60 miles. Bumpy in the clouds. Okay, there we go. Just come on, give me a time. 18 minutes. Doesn't look good. This side's okay, but in here there's no chance. some significant high terrain north of the field and south. It kind of sits in a bit of a valley. So if we do go around, we need to go straight ahead, and if we're going to turn, we're going to turn south and stay above we need to be above 6,000 feet. Sure. I'm just thinking, like, if I have to go mist and we can't see anything, we're staying at 7,000. And if I do descend and then we lose contact with the ground for whatever reason, we're gonna stay heading northeast, kind of pretty much the heading we're on now. We'll do 060, climb to 7,000 before we turn, and we're only going to turn south. We'll stay away from the terrain to the north. Okay, 50 miles out, 14 minutes. Just gone 6 hours of flying time today. We've burnt over 6.5 tons of fuel. Okay, you can sort of see the valley starting to form here. So here's the ridge on the one side, and there's the ridge on the other side. We're kind of going in there, which doesn't look good. Okay, 12 minutes to go. I don't think I can really descend into this in front of us here. What's the highest point on this ridge here on the right? 5.4. So what I am going to do is adjust this 1020 so we don't have any issues. Still 11 minutes, so hopefully we get through this patch here and it's open by the town and the airport on the other side. looks like we got plenty of daylight still, so. Be heading into the clouds again. So the terrain to the north is a little bit higher than this. So definitely something to be aware of. That's why we're only going to turn south. Still good. Just under 10 minutes out. Yeah, and there's rain here too. These two ridges in front of us, we've got one at 5.6, one at 5.2. Further to the right, 5.3, so we're good. It is opening up a little, although I'm worried the airport is in that next thick section. Minutes out. 6 minutes. We're getting close, and it's not looking great straight in front of us. Want to descend into this. Gonna have to hope that it's clear on the other side where the airport is, and then we can descend on that side. Looks like it's pouring with rain down there. Airport is 38. Ah, look at that, it's open. Fantastic, let's start descending. Do left downwind runway 26, which gives us a reciprocal of 080. There's that high terrain to the north that I was talking about. There's the airfield there, so we kind of want to fly along that ridgeline there. That's the town over there. Right, there it is. It's a little windy. Flaps 1. And flaps 2. Autopilot off my airplane. Still plenty of daylight left. Okay, gear coming down. More flaps. Taxi lights can come on. Flaps, gear, lights, all good. It is kind of gusty. Can definitely feel it. Spoilers up. Again, spoilers down, flaps up. Okay, I'm not going to start the APU this time because we're shutting down completely. Let's switch this off. Landing lights off. We might as well switch the taxi lights off. We're right here anyway. Okay, flaps are up. This is where our C160 will be spending the night. That rain just here. there is our final flight of the day. Let's just go ahead and shut down. Okay, then it's just all of these guys off. Batteries. And those will be off now, but we can switch the lights off as well. That's all done. This can go back to there. And I think that's about it. But there we are. Oh, oh. Right, that's interesting. Wow, that could have gone badly if we'd been like another 2 minutes. Kind of looks like it did when we set off earlier this morning. But with a good 6 hours and 21 minutes we've just clocked of recording time, so it's probably just under 6 hours of actual flying. The rest was on the ground and setting up and loading passengers and cargo and stuff like that. But a good full day's charter flying. In FSEconomy we've made just over 100k. I think it might actually even be a little bit more. I didn't add it all up very accurately, but we've certainly made a decent heap of cash for today's flying. Once again, really enjoyed the C160 back in Flight Sim 2020, and I can't wait for it to be in 2024 as well, which should hopefully happen shortly. But anyway, that is going to bring us to the end of the video. As always, if you made it right to this point, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, you know what to do down below, and hopefully I see you in the next one.